My husband has a daughter, Kara, who's starting college soon. She primarily lives with her mom, but visits once every 4 to 6 months for a max of 2 nights. She's very involved with friends and activities in her mom's city, which takes up most of her time. My husband and I live in the 2-bedroom condo I inherited with my first-grade daughter. When Kara has visited, she slept on the couch or a blow-up mattress. However, my husband has set aside my daughter's, Molly, closet to keep Kara's things in for when she visits. That means Molly has no closet to use. Kara will be attending college out of state, and my husband has spent the past 4 months asking Kara if she wants the stuff she left here. Kara has not answered at all. My husband has also asked his ex-wife if Kara wants to keep or have the stuff here. 4 months and not a response from either of them on that. However, both are quick to reach out or respond when it includes buying Kara something new, giving them money, or demanding her tuition be paid. Kara and her mom pick and choose what to respond to. Earlier, I was going through my and Molly's stuff to find clothes neither of us wears to take to donation. I called my husband to ask what he wanted me to do about Kara's stuff. He knew I was going to donate today. He told me to pack it up and donate it. I asked him if he was sure that I didn't feel right donating it and would rather send it back to Kara to do as she pleases. My husband said no. He's given her over 4 months to respond, and he's reached out to his ex multiple times for neither to respond on that topic. He then said as Kara's dad, he's making the decision to donate her stuff, and he plans to redo the closet in a way that's good for Molly. So I bagged up Kara's stuff and dropped it off with the other stuff. My husband sent Kara and his ex a joint text saying Kara's stuff had been donated due to their lack of response when he'd asked them what to do for months. Within 2 minutes, Kara called and flipped out. She called screaming and cussing that we had no right to donate her stuff, that it's hers and we should never touch it. And this convinces her that we're trying to erase her from our lives, that what we did was unforgivable, and we can be sure she'll never visit again. Shortly after Kara got off the phone, the ex called, also screaming and cussing, saying that was Kara's stuff and how dare we donate it, and accused us of stealing from Kara and my husband of not caring about his daughter and trying to replace her with Molly. My husband frequently plans outings for him and Kara, but she cancels over 90% of the time to hang out with friends. My husband snapped at his ex. If she or Kara had answered, this would not have happened. So if they want to blame anyone, they need to blame themselves. I know my husband told me to donate Kara's stuff, and he's not upset with me. But I feel bad for not sending it back to Kara and her mom and letting them decide what to keep or not. So am I the idiot? Not the idiot, and I'm so glad your husband stood his ground. I admire how empathetic you are and how you tried to send her stuff back, but please remember that you did nothing wrong. Kara's father decided after asking them and giving them months of notice, and it's not like the stuff was taking up space in a spare closet. It was taking up much-needed room for your daughter, who lives there and uses her stuff daily. It was a power play. Kara thought by stonewalling OP's family, she could force them to keep her stuff there, and she'd always have a presence in the house, whether OP's family liked it or not. She couldn't be bothered to respond for 16 weeks, but responded in 2 minutes when they were donated. That shows it's all about Kara. If Kara legitimately wanted her things there, she should have said so. What kid wants to feel like the odd man out and made to sleep on the couch or blow-up mattress? Clearly, her coming around wasn't a priority to your husband either. How much stuff could even be in that closet if she's rarely there? Why couldn't your husband just bring it to her? Does he really never see her? I think there's more here than OP is letting on. You are the idiot, OP. Has the custody arrangement always been like this? Did something happen that caused Kara to spend only 2 nights every 4 months with her dad? No, he used to see Kara every weekend. Her mom moved across the state a few years ago and pushed Kara to get involved as much as possible with her new community and make new friends. It worked, and now Kara is constantly busy with no time to visit and no patience for a several-hour drive one way. So you mean that Kara was pushed to have lots of extracurricular activities and active social life while in high school? High school extracurriculars are pushed very hard because they're part of what makes up a successful college application. Having good friends is also an important part of high school. I can't comment on anything else, but her mother pushing Kara to get involved in her new community was not a screw you move. It's an important part of adolescent development. It's parental alienation. It was very much a screw you move. Kara doesn't care about a relationship with her father, not if she refuses to answer simple but basic questions. She's had her head filled with lies about being replaced, and now those lies seem justified to her. I'm the father of 2 girls, 23 Olivia and nearly adult Joyce. To give some context, the girls don't get along that well. They both have different personalities, different everything. Besides that, Joyce has multiple health conditions that cause her to faint occasionally. Olivia thinks Joyce uses her conditions to keep attention, but I don't believe this for a second. Joyce can't make anything up, especially when she faints, whether it be at a birthday party or wedding or any other event. Anyways, Olivia's boyfriend, 24, Kirk, proposed to her recently. Since he still lives with his parents and his parents aren't approving of their relationship, I was asked by him and Olivia if we could host their engagement party. My wife agreed on my behalf and started getting everything ready for the party. Of course, the extended family was invited. It was rather larger than I'd expected. The party kicked off, and Olivia and Kirk kept sitting. Joyce was staying upstairs because she felt a little sick, so we let her. But my brother insisted that she come downstairs and celebrate her sister's happy occasion. Joyce got dressed and joined us. I noticed she wasn't feeling well. I asked her several times if she was okay, and she said yes. Then minutes later, she suddenly fell after getting up from her seat. We all panicked, though she didn't faint, only reeled off balance for a few seconds. Olivia started mumbling something, but Kirk got up and said, "Don't mind her. She's once again just being an attention-seeking witch." I was shocked. I asked him what he said, but Olivia got involved and said he was right, and Joyce was trying to steal the attention from her that night. I got so mad I called the party off and told them both to get out of my house. My wife and Olivia freaked out and begged that I let this go, and they'd have Kirk apologize for this particular line, but I was having none of it and had them leave. Olivia was crying when they left. My brother jumped to defend her, saying I overreacted and Kirk was just mad and misspoke. But I told him, listen, if they're going to disrespect my daughter in her own house, then we're going to have a problem. Everyone left and my wife didn't stop criticizing me for doing this, ruining our daughter's celebration and making her resent us. I need judgment to know if I overreacted and went too far here. Not the idiot. Who does Kirk think he is to comment on a literal child in that way? What you said was spot on. If he can't show your daughter some respect in her own house, he can get out. Keep sticking up for your little daughter. And this makes me wonder why Kirk's family disapproves of the relationship. Sounds like Kirk and older daughter are 2 peas in a pod. You are the idiot. You let your younger daughter be pressured into attending, despite her not feeling well, and your full awareness of the tension between the girls. I'm interested in why your oldest daughter thinks the younger one is an attention seeker. Siblings show a side of themselves to each other that parents don't see. At any rate, you created the circumstances for this to happen and then overreacted. I don't know about everyone else, but this is giving me serious golden child versus scapegoat vibes. Kinda need a better idea about how these fainting spells generally flare up when the attention is on Olivia, and if this was a breaking point of past events. I can't decide on who's the idiot here without more context. I agree with you. This feels a little bit off. I'm just gonna say, does the older girl have a legitimate beef? Has the younger sister been favored their entire lives? Is there a real medical situation going on here? For the older sister and her fiance to be so upset about this situation, and the uncle insisting the kid join the party, makes me think Dad doesn't see the forest for the trees. Could Dad possibly have blinders on? This, unfortunately, isn't uncommon with siblings when one is medically needy. They feel the other sibling gets all the attention, is always given a pass, etc., even when not necessarily true. The sacrifices they have to make to accommodate being in a family with a medically needy sibling is an imposition, and one they feel they don't need to make because it isn't their fault. My wife, 29 female, and I, 31 male, have been married for 5 years and have a toddler son. When my son was born, my wife and I worked full-time, and our son was in daycare after my wife's maternity leave ran out. But my wife got laid off during the start of the global issue, so we pulled our son out of daycare, and my wife became a stay-at-home mom. Our finances have taken a hit with only one income, but we make it work. Saving on childcare helps, but it doesn't fully offset my wife's previous income. My wife loves being a stay-at-home mom and the time she gets with our son. She's become part of a mom group that gets together maybe 3 to 4 times a week and has their kids play together. But it seems like our son gets hurt every time they go to these things. Up until now, it's only been bumps, bruises, and scrapes, which I know kids get those things daily. But it just seems like every time they go to these mom group things, our son comes home with a new injury. I talked to my wife about it, and she told me that it's just kids being kids, and they will get bumps and bruises. Last week, I got a call from my wife telling me our son was in the emergency room. They had gone to one of the mom's houses, and the kids played outside. The family has some of those Power Wheel type cars, and our son got hit by another kid driving one. His leg got cut up pretty good and needed stitches, and he was pretty scraped up too, but thankfully nothing worse. My wife told me it was just an accident that happened so fast, and she was really upset with herself. But after talking with my son about it, he said he got dragged for a long time after the kid hit him and that mommy wasn't there to help him, and he was scared. I confronted my wife about it, and she admitted that she was inside chatting with other moms while it happened. There were other moms outside when it happened, but my wife wasn't out there. I was livid. I didn't yell at her, but I had some strong choice words for her. I told her that being a stay-at-home mom doesn't mean she has social time with other moms instead of watching our son. I told her I wanted to put our son back in daycare and for her to go back to work. I told her I'm not going to bust my butt to support her mommy's social time if she's not going to at least make sure our son doesn't get ran over and dragged by a runaway Power Wheel. She started crying and told me I was an idiot and that she had already felt guilty enough about what happened. I told her she didn't feel guilty enough to tell me the truth right away and that I felt like my trust was being questioned. I told her I wanted to start looking at daycares ASAP, and she needed to start thinking about what kind of job she wanted. She spent the last few days being extra attentive to our son, I'm sure, as a way to try to convince me not to put him into daycare, but my mind is pretty made up. Not the idiot. As much as your wife is happy as a stay-at-home mom and in her group, it's not as good for your son or finances. You want the best for your family, and I don't see anything wrong with that. I hope your son is feeling better from his stitches. Those are scary to get really young. Happens once, okay, they're kids. They'll fall and hurt themselves. Part of life. Happens twice? Okay, not a big deal. Kids will be kids. But every time? Sorry, that's BS. The past injuries weren't so dramatic, but this one, it could have been so much worse. Stand your ground, OP. No social time is worth it to injure your kid every single time. 100% they chuck the kids outside and then go inside and chat for hours while the kids are unmonitored past a glance out the kitchen window. I'd be really curious if the mommy social group was also the mommy wine group. That would explain their continuous lack of care given to the kids. You are the idiot. You want to take your kid away from one-on-one care because of an accident? When your wife was taking a break but had ensured an adult was monitoring your kid. Okay, LOL, that's the worst logic. Stay-at-home parents need socialization with adults because being with a toddler all day is mind-numbingly isolating. You clearly just don't want your wife to be a stay-at-home mom. This seems like an excuse more than anything else. Like you were waiting for a reason to tell her to go back to work. And children get hurt all the time playing with other children. It's a part of being kids and playing in stupid ways with stupid toys. My spouse and I have been struggling to find a home. We've outgrown our tiny apartment. We have a young child and one another, but we cannot afford a bigger place. We save but can't catch up to the pace of the house prices. My mother and her husband own 3 homes, soon to be 4. While she heavily relied on her parents financially, she's not been there for me in that way. Throughout the global issue, unemployment, high medical bills for our premature baby, and numerous other unfortunate expenses, she never offered any help. She and her husband, who considers himself my child's grandfather, own 5 cars, and periodically they abandon the cars at one of their vacation homes to look like someone is home all the time. They planned on doing this with an additional car recently, one that was only a few years old. I expressed my hurt that they were planning to abandon yet another car while they knew we were struggling financially. Housing costs have become so difficult that I applied for a job in a much cheaper state, 12 hours away, a couple of months ago. I told her about this, and although she's very close with her grandchild, she just said she'd visit a lot. It felt like don't let the door hit you on the way out. Ultimately, a relative who only has one home intervened and offered to help us in the event we could no longer afford rent after the upcoming increase, expected to be an increase of around $800 a month. 1 month after I told her about applying for the job out of state, she told me they got a beach place. I thought she meant a rental at first. It materialized that no, they purchased a home on the beach. She expected me to be thrilled. She even said they did it for us, me and my spouse and child. She meant that we would enjoy going there, but it's not a kid-friendly place. The price of the home is the same price range as the sort of home we'd like to buy that we've been priced out of over the last couple of years. This hurt me and I felt like it was a slap in the face. Well, before closing, I told her I would not be able to go to their new vacation home. They have 2 others, because it would be too upsetting for me. It's a highly frivolous expense in my view, when they already own 2 vacation homes in the same state as the new one. I don't feel entitled to their money, but neither do I want a front row seat to them wasting it while we struggle. I would have 0 problems if they used this money to pay off their existing mortgage, or save for retirement, or pretty much anything other than a 3rd vacation home that is the cost of the house we're hoping to be able to buy. Like the abandoned car, it feels like money is just being thrown away. And I know they can do what they want with their money, but I don't want to be in that house knowing they preferred having it to helping their grandchild and me. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. They are wasting money. To park expensive cars in front of vacation homes is just stupid. Do they clean it? Move them regularly? So it really looks like they live there? They can do with their money what they want, but to go, I can't help you, I have no money, but do this and boast with a vacation home when OP needs to move 12 hours because she doesn't want to be homeless. It is insensitive. And maybe OP's mother forgot that a normal working person couldn't go on vacation all the time. They live in 2 different worlds. I'm wholeheartedly saying not the idiot, but man, I thought our situation was unfortunate. This is way worse. Everyone I know has their house because family helped with the down payment or loan. My parents couldn't do it for any of us, which I understand because they had 3 kids and didn't have a bunch of money lying around to pay for 3 down payments. My husband's mother, on the other hand, wants him to be thrilled about the home she buys and flips. He once asked if she could help him get a loan, and she said she didn't want to risk not getting her next flip loan. We can afford payments, but with the nature of work, we can't get a home loan. So yeah, I don't expect money or help from people either. But when your blood relatives, knowing your kids or whatever, are in a tough spot, they 100% do not give a crap about your flip or vacation home. So spend your money how you want. I don't care. I don't have to jump up and down for you.